Hey guys, welcome back to Margot Watches Movies. My name is Jake Margot. We're reviewing episodes 2 and 3 of Terminalist Dark Wolf, the prequel to Amazon's hit series, The Terminal List, starring Chris Pratt. This new season, as I mentioned in the first review I did, which is a rough, brief synopsis, spoiler free of the first episode, it seemed like this season was pivoting to Taylor Kitsch, Ben, as the main character, and that is very much what is happening here. I was a huge fan of season 1 of The Terminalist. I thought it was a fantastic show. I've seen it multiple times, and I have to say, so far, after 3 episodes, I am very excited about what the showrunners and the cast and the crew have put together so far. I think it was a really, really awesome first 3 episodes. I very much was enthralled and eyes glued to the television, ready for the next episode to start as soon as the last one ended. There's a lot of good action, espionage, black ops work. This is just one of those types of genres I eat up. I mean, war stuff, covert ops, geopolitics, Middle East, trying to stop terror attacks. Like, this is just stuff that's awesome to watch from the safety of your couches. And I just think that this show is off to a really, really great start, even with the lack of Chris Pratt. Now, I could see some people having issue with that potentially. I don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking it, but he was the draw of season 1, and he was the star. Taylor Kitsch was a breakout side character, but now that the spotlight has switched to him, we've introduced Tom Hopper's character Rafe, who was in the first episode, but he gets a much more prominent role in episode 2. I just think they are paired well together. I think Rafe as a character is really cool. It's a really good performance by Tom Hopper, who just towers on the screen. The guy has to be 6'5", and they even put him in a tuxedo in the second episode, which felt a little bit like a James Bond audition. But I looked it up; he's 40 years old. I don't know if that's the direction they're wanting to go. But the guy's British. He had a Bond look, other than just how damn tall he is. But back to the show, it's really, really, really entertaining so far, and it's accessible in a way where, yes, there's a lot of moving mechanics going on in the plot, but it's so well shot. You can tell it's got a nice budget. It's a crisp picture. I think the direction is really good in a lot of these scenes. You get some nice exterior drone shots that Amazon loves to do. The budget is there, the scale is there, the political intrigue, all that stuff is on display. So episode 2 picks up where episode 1 left off, after Ben decided to execute that terrorist guy that was a CIA asset. He is catching the windfall of consequences. He gets his title of Navy SEAL stripped. Rafe, as the CIA request, at least one other captain becomes collateral damage to that, much to the protest of Chris Pratt. And this is the last we see him as they get on a helicopter and head to an airport where it looked like it was in Germany, dishonorably discharged. That is the last we see of Chris Pratt for the remainder of the 2 episodes. When they get to this airport, their flight gets delayed. They go to stay in a hotel in Germany, and in walks a gentleman at the bar, an agency man, where presumably CIA, played by The Wire's Bunny Colvin, an actor I love just from his stint on The Wire, where he created Hamsterdam, one of my favorite plot lines of The Wire, in my opinion, the greatest show ever made. But getting to see him kind of be like the head of this group that he's trying to recruit these 2 guys into to kill Dumani, who is one of the terrorists shown in the first episode, who gives Ben's NSF soldier asset, the prosthetic leg with a bomb in it, who blows himself up, kills the guy's family. Pretty brutal stuff. So he offers them a chance to kill someone who's very present on their mind as they just leave on a black ops job, basically to work in wet work, assassinate, kill, off the books. And the rest of the episode becomes this mission as they try to infiltrate, find, and either extract or kill Dumani. And it was a really, really great hour of TV. I think you get fleshing out more of Rafe in this situation. You get a little interaction with him and his dad on the phone. You get kind of what this means to him and his family's legacy. And as we get into this mission, we're introduced to two female Mossad agents who are working in tandem with the CIA, who seem to be like they're going to be prominent fixtures for the rest of the season. They do have some personality, and it's in a way that I think is applicable to the show. I wouldn't call them like girl bosses or anything. They're not beating up 10 Albanians with AKs with a butter knife or anything, but they have their strengths. They're techie. They're good for infiltration and disguise in certain situations. And as the mission plays out and we get this really tense chase through these dimly lit streets, ending in Rafe, who had warned Ben, I need to know that you can find the breaks when needed. Because again, first episode ends with him executing a guy. You get the flip of that where Rafe beats to death Dumani with a pistol. You get the really cool clothesline of fuck the brakes from Ben. And I thought that was a really riveting episode of television. I was absolutely hooked by it. It was really, really entertaining TV. I would give that episode yet again another 9 out of 10. So again, we're off to a really great start, and then we move into episode 3. The team is a little bit more formulated. We kick off with them moving from Dumani to the next leg of the mission, trying to impersonate him and find out what deal he was trying to negotiate. As we're introduced to the start of the episode, these two characters in Iran, presumably for nuclear material, because again, this show is playing it pretty close to home and on pretty topical items. I mean, they even had to put a disclaimer at the bottom. There are some events very similar to recent events. It was entirely fictitious, but it was pretty good timing coming off the heels of the Iran-Israel conflict from a mere few months ago. So you get all these topical political intrigues welded into this very entertaining show with really good characters. You do have a couple, corny lines of dialogue every now and then. It never even comes close to reaching those Reacher season 3 levels of corny dialogue, but it's never enough to take me out of it personally. The ride is still very much worth it. So this episode, it slows down quite a bit for the first half, but I do think it's necessary because we start to flesh out these members of the team. There's members brought in for this mission. Mo, who we met in the first episode, who was kind of like the translator. He rides out with the guys. Is brought on to impersonate Dumani. We bring back Luke Hemsworth. Yes, one of the Hemsworth brothers. You've seen him in Westworld. You ever watched that show, which went downhill quick, but he's a member of a 3-letter agency. He's brought in for the mission, along with Michael Ealy making a surprise appearance, the actor who was tried to have a breakout in the mid 2010s in a bunch of like Tyler Perry and like romance movies. I was very surprised to see him just show up in this kind of bit role, but it was well done, and we get to interact with the team a little bit. They take some time to flesh them out. It maybe drags for a little bit, but then we kick into action for what the mission is of this episode. Mo has to impersonate Dumani, meeting a woman who has texted him, who you find out is Dumani's daughter. There's this whole little subplot involving him having to go kill her. He decides not to, which I thought they had killed her, and I thought that was bold, and I was kind of like, oh, wow, way to go there, TV, because they would have killed her in real life, but it's Hollywood, so he lets her live. He's a killer with a conscience, and I'm not harping on that, but in real life, let's be honest, these letter agencies are ruthless. They're calculating. They're cold-hearted bastards. She would have gotten killed. And it's a very, 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 very small gripe. It didn't like ruin it or anything for me. And I don't want to see an innocent woman get killed, but it would have been a little bit more realistic, I thought. So, and from there, we move into them trying to meet with this scientist who is selling these nuclear fission type of technology devices that will increase the uranium in nuclear bombs for Iran, right? And you get this chase sequence where this mysterious third party agent, she shows up to crash it. Mo, who's impersonated Umami, has to go out, run around, all this stuff. And it ends with Michael Ealy being killed, which was kind of surprising to introduce an actor who has like recognizable, a recognizable facial brand and just kill him off in one episode. I thought that was a little bold. I enjoyed it. I was not expecting it. And we end with Ben, played by Taylor Kirsch, chasing the assailant on a subway, and a really cool little sequence where the guy has a knife and he kind of like Indiana Jones the dude. He's expecting to have this knife fight. Ben has one of the hacker girls turn the CCTV footage off of this subway. And as he's walking up to the guy who pulls the knife, he just pulls a pistol out and puts 7 in his chest. So it was, I like to see that. It's well done. It was a really, really entertaining first 3 episodes. I'm very excited for next week. The 3rd episode, I think I would probably give an 8 out of 10, but it was still very good. Took time to flesh out the characters. So a 9, a 9, and a 10, or somewhere around an 8.5 and 8.7 out of 10 for the first 3 episodes. But man, what a ride. I am very excited to have this show back. It was very well done. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Did you like the Terminal List? What did you think of these first 3 episodes? Are you hyped for episode 4 like me? Give me a like, give me a subscribe if you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed the review. And as always, guys, that's about it. So this is Jake Margo with Margo Watches Movies. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.